Welcome back to City Skylines minus the forest fires. My name's Ben and I'm an urban geographer. This time we are going to look at the three modes of building a city, both in the game out in the real world. Using my older city of Monaco, which has a game population of about 155,000, which translates to about 750,000 out in the real world. It's about a 4-to-1 ratio. So the three tenets: planning and city building, using the Japanese infrastructure ahead model, the expansion, and then the consolidation. And hopefully the city doesn't decide to do the fourth one, stagnation. So as you can see, it's about, I think it's about 9:30 on a Tuesday morning, and we're looking from west to east out across the city and the ocean, and you can see a bit of fog on the way. Just do the old panorama from here to here. So out we go, and about 9:44. So the reason why I've picked Monaco is because it's easier to point out the three modes, because it's a mature city. I will also reference back to Grand Monaco-Leighton cities on the planning and building the first phase, given it's an extremely young city, but we can do it here as well, because I'll use the blank land over here to start another satellite. So we've got the twin city models, the city centre here, and by definition, because of the river, cities technically run a second city centre here and here. And again, this is using the urban islands model, because it is actually, despite there being one big urban mass, it technically isn't as well with the urban form broken up either by roadways, railways, the river, or even just forests in itself. So the first tenet: planning and building. So planning and building, what you are basically doing in the first phase, either in a mature city like this one, or in a new city like Grand Monaco-Leighton, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to plan. Where do you want to go where? And in a mature city like this, it gets interesting, especially when your industrial demand is up, along with a bit of residential along the way. So the best way to, in this case, with an existing city, is work out what's in demand and what needs to go where. So bringing up the zones, we can see we've got industry and some residential already in place. We also have some infrastructure in place, i.e. the intra-city commuter rail system and the intercity passenger and freight rail. So that makes establishing a small satellite quite easy to do, which we've done over here, which was initially as an experiment for a massive rest centre for weary travellers coming along the intercity highways and making their way down the Trans-Monaco link, which is the north-south link that links across technically the top end of the city and back out to the interstate over here. So it was designed as an experiment, but it's going to establish itself into a satellite. So we've got the infrastructure in place, including power, and water. The transport's already in place, technically using existing infrastructure at this point, and your transit, civic, is in place, but would get built as well. But what we're going to do is this is technically coming out of the planning and building stage, going into the expansion stage. Now what we do need is a new satellite, And we're going to do that using the cargo airport. So one moment. Okay, so basically what I have planned for is a cargo airport hub. If you know any example around the world where railways feed into airport cargo hubs, I'd love to know, because I don't think anyone in City Skylines has managed to answer that question yet. But this is where the next satellites will develop, is around this airport hub, and most likely this also smaller passenger airline, passenger airport as well. So this is what we've got. Here's the airport hub. It's connected to water. Oh, well, it will be. The power is already in place using the 225 kV lines, which run all the way back to Nuclear City. And the cargo rail has been set up, and you'll probably get a passenger line down by putting a station here and just running buses backwards and forwards, as this area will develop in due time. But I will go into the planning and building mode around this in Monaco Leighton cities, which is better suited to it. In the next part, we will look at the expansion and consolidation.